Hello, and welcome to Real Person Reviews. I'm Sam, and this is Pikachu, my friend. And we're here to talk to you about Pokemon Friends. For mobile and also for console. It's on Switch, and I believe Switch too. Yeah, Pikachu agrees. I think I'll throw the footage up here now, probably. Basically, I don't know, it might cut me off. I don't really care. Basically, I want to talk about this, kind of both of them at the same time, since basically the way that it works is that there is Pokemon, the footage is all from the Switch version, just because it's easier to record. So, basically, Pokemon Friends, the mobile version has a free option to play, with a $10 basic pack, and then there's a couple of DLC content packs that you can get. The console version has no free option, so you have to pay $10 to get the basic pack content essentially right away, and it still has the other DLC packs. So I'm not talking about the DLC packs, I'm just talking about the mobile version played free, and then, with the, tilt and gyro and touch or whatever stuff, controls. And then I'll be talking about the Switch version after that, as the kind of like both as the console thing with its button controls and everything, but also as the basic content pack and what you're getting for that, since the actual content is the same between the two when you do that. So let's all start at the beginning here with Pokemon Friends on mobile. So essentially the plot is just you move to Think Town, and you've always had this dream of making Pokemon plushies. So you move here to do that, and you need to you're ready to do it, but you need to untangle a bunch of yarn in order to make things out of it. So in order to do that, you have to complete puzzles. Now, I don't know if it's supposed to be a thing of completing these puzzles helps you focus so you can do the task of untangling all of this yarn, or if it's supposed to be like a representation of it, like a metaphorical, like this is me untangling the yarn by solving all these puzzles, or like me untangling it. I don't know really what it's supposed to be, but anyways, you gotta do puzzles to untangle the yarn. That's the point, anyways. Regardless of how you get there. The way these puzzles work is that usually it's just actually 3 different sets of puzzles, so each is like a puzzle set. Each type of puzzle has you doing some kind of thing to, it has a specific kind of goal, usually revolving around a particular Pokemon or two. So, the one they'll give you the tutorial thing for as part of that, as you'll probably see, is there's, a Pikachu one, where you have to, make this line of, electricity from Pikachu throughout all of the light bulbs in the continuous circuit. Then you, each little section of each of these puzzles is multiple sections, and there's a timer counting down while you're doing it, because you only have so much time to do this. You have to solve all the puzzles in a row in order to beat that section of puzzles, and then you move on to the next one. And so each time you'll do this, usually you'll be getting these 3 different ones, okay? And it's kind of random as to which ones you're going to get. If you complete them quickly, the level will go up, and the next time you encounter them, they will be more difficult. A lot of times puzzles get bigger, they might get more complex, making you think outside the box more, but the time limits, I believe, are pretty much the same, so that really doesn't change. If you're just okay at it, then it might just stay the same, and if you do poorly at it or fail at it, you're at risk of the level of it going down. Which I guess that's probably a good thing to keep it so that, it's still challenging for you without becoming impossible, and you still make progress as you do them. It tries to kind of balance things that way. After completing your puzzles, then you'll get some yarn. Also, depending on how well you do, it determines what you're getting. So if you do really well, you can get some pretty nice yarn. If you do, all right, you'll just get some regular yarn. If you do really poorly, you'll just end up with this scrap yarn. And if you get 5 pieces of scrap yarn, you can turn that into a random other regular piece of yarn. So you can always make progress doing this stuff. And The other aspect of that is that after you've done these puzzles, you have your yarn. You can put it into this like yarn machine to basically turn it into a plushie. It's probably got a name, it's like Plushomatic or some shit. It says it on the screen, you'll see it. And that thing turns it into a plushie. And the type of yarn you get determines the kind of plushie you're going to get. Each yarn type has certain plushies that can show up if you use it. Pretty Nice Yarn has a chance of actually potentially spawning 2 plushies when you use it. So that's the difference between those. And then if you're wondering what you do with the plushies, one of the things you can do is you have this like little space that you can decorate. You can put them around here to display your favorite plushies, and then you can put pieces of furniture and things in here as well. Have your little collection room of all your virtual plushies. But another part of this is quests. Eventually quests will open up, and you can go and do these quests for people around Think Town. They desire certain plushies, and so if you have those plushies, you can give them to these people, and then they will reward you. One of the rewards is usually a direct thing where the more plot-specific people for these missions, they will give you decoration items to further decorate your space for your growing plushie collection of your own. Of course, you can't give away any plushies that are in your collection currently, so you have to decide which ones you want to stay in your collection room versus how badly you want to give some of these away. And some of these things can be rather particular, so sometimes it's a general range of like I want like a certain size or a certain type of plushie, but sometimes they have specific things that they do want, so you have to pay attention to that as well. Also, when you help people out, you'll get these points that could potentially level up your town. Leveling up your town will give you access to different stamps. And really all those do, and also more missions, different quests will show up as your town increases in level as well. But the stamps are really just for every day when you play. You finish all your puzzles, then you can stamp the day as completed on your calendar. You can choose whatever stamp you have unlocked to stamp that. That's kind of the thing with the free version here, is that you can only play 1 time a day. The tutorial section, your little honeymoon period when you first start, gives you a few more that you can do until everything's kind of unlocked. But after that, it is 1 time a day. You can go back and replay the puzzles from that day on your calendar as much as you would like, but you can't play any other day, and you have to, you can only do those. You can't, like, change your scores or anything on them. So, essentially, every time you beat all your puzzles, it'll also give you a thing, like, it'll say, like, how much yarn you untangled based on how well you did. So, there's also a little area that tracks your personal best for your yarn length, as well as your personal bests on all the different puzzles that are available, and the level at which that puzzle is right now. And I think that's pretty much it as far as playing this version of it. In the free version, that's pretty much all you do there. Do that once a day, and then wait for it to refresh. The quests also refresh once a day, so you basically have to come back and check the next day. And sometimes you get some milestone things for, you've done this many puzzles or something, this many days, whatever. They'll give you a little extra yarn or something and throw you a bone. But that's pretty much all you do. So that is kind of an issue to me, because when you're playing that, essentially, I don't think there's enough meat on the bone to really get addicted to this game in its free version. It's one of those where you play for a couple minutes and then you're done, and then you kind of forget about it. I played this for a few months, and I just kept forgetting to do my daily plays, because it's not something I spent enough time on to remember, oh yeah, I was playing that game that was fun and it was invested in. It didn't give me enough to be hooked on it, which in some ways is good, but in other ways means it's very forgettable and it makes you just not play it. So I think that is probably its biggest detriment in its free version, which is unfortunately the version many people will play and then get turned off by, because I don't think many people will want to spend $10 on a mobile game to be able to play it more. But if you do, or if you want to get it on console, that $10 content pack, let's get into what you get with that. So, if you pay $10, you will get access to unlimited plays per day. You can go into the settings and actually limit it to, anywhere from 1 to 10 plays a day if you think it's hard for you to stop, which is a nice option that I didn't really feel like I needed to use. But it's nice that it's there. There's also way more, yarn types. There are way more plush types, of course, along with that. Even in the ones that existed in the, free version, there's more plushies you can potentially get there, which is a good and bad thing. Being able to play a bunch and everything is nice, but also, yeah, it's like, when do you stop, and what's the point? It starts to really show its, how do I put that? It starts to show how this game isn't really that fun or rewarding when you have this thing here, right? When you're doing this over and over in a row, it sort of wears out its welcome, especially if you don't know when you should stop. Which is weird that it has that kind of, there's no really great medium there. Maybe like 3 to 5 times a day is maybe where you'd want to sit to make it more enjoyable. But the thing is, like, yeah, there are a lot more yarn types and a lot more plushies per yarn. And a lot of people, for the quest, there's more quests and things too, and more decorations. You can get multiple rooms to decorate, and you can actually get, higher chances to get, obviously more than one plushie a day. There's more chances of getting duplicates or things people don't want that you can actually go and display, so you don't have to worry about, oh no, I don't want to waste this because I'm only going to get so many. I can get as many as I want if I just keep playing. But some of those quests get to be pretty annoying when they want, multiple plushies that are specific plushies. Like, I want this, this, and this. And it's like, okay, well, that means I have to get the particular yarn type off of doing all my puzzles in order to get that, and I have to get a lucky roll as to what I actually get when I turn it into a plushie. You can kind of, like, forego this a bit, and you can do this in the mobile one as well, by just hoarding the same, if you've already made this thing before, at least, you can actually, just get enough extra yarn to make that specifically rather than doing a random thing. So, like, a lot of times it'll take maybe like 2 of like a certain yarn type to make a particular thing you've made before, right? That's not too bad, except for you still got to get 2 of those. So that is a lot of waiting, depending on how lucky you get. And so that can end up being very tedious and doesn't really feel, again, very rewarding. You do get a lot more puzzles here, at least, which is nice. A lot more different puzzles. Some of them feel like similar takes to things you're already playing. It's also kind of frustrating there's no way to take away the time limit at all. I think that would have been a nice thing to have at some point for somewhere to do. But just because sometimes I just want to see if I could beat a puzzle, and I guess that's where the replay comes in. But I really would like to just be able to solve the puzzles rather than have to worry about a time limit all the time. That's a little frustrating, and that's a little stressful. And that's the thing that I think is clashing with some of the casual, relaxing vibes of this game. The satisfaction should come from solving the puzzle, not from beating the clock. But maybe that's just me. Maybe just having a version of like unlocked puzzles to play through all of those would be a better thing to do. Or have an option or something. I would like that. I guess there's a couple other things to mention too, or things like, oh yeah, but I will say the quests still only change every day, so it doesn't matter that you can play as much as you want every day. As far as the quests go, you still have to wait each day to get new quests to progress that. Other than, I guess, leveling up your town, which is harder to do when there's fewer quests for you to finish at a time. So keep that in mind. I guess you can go in and check a little like Pokedex details, or whatever, your catalog details of each of these plushies, and turn them around, or whatever, in a little like turning thing there if you want. I don't want to, but you can. Obviously, I didn't care about decorating my room or collecting virtual plushies either. People would probably rather collect real plushies than that. So I don't know if there's a whole lot of incentive there either. I don't know. Like, basically, all I'm saying is this version is better, but it really shows the problem with it. Is that it's just not that rewarding. It gets very tedious, and I think this wasn't very well thought out. It's one of those where I think it's going to be very easily forgotten. Pokemon Friends is sadly just not really worth your time or your money, I don't think, on either platform. On mobile, you're just not going to want to play this for money. I guess I'll also bring up quick that I think that there is something to be said about, like, playing on console. When I was playing on Switch, I made it a point to play only with my, like, controller controls. Whereas when I play on mobile, obviously it has to be touch and, like, tilt and whatever, those kind of controls. And I will say that certain games, certain puzzles, work better with touchscreen and tilt, well, some puzzles work better with a controller. Sometimes it's easier to be able to just move directly where you want to go on grids and things with a D-pad. Whereas other times it's easier to, a lot quicker to just go and tap things on a screen or to tilt a device rather than awkwardly turn things or move a cursor around that way. So I think Switch and handheld mode is probably going to be the best of all worlds to take advantage of what's best for which puzzle, I guess. But again, the price thing and what you're getting is just not there. I don't think anybody's gonna spend $10 on mobile for this kind of thing. It's probably not going to be worth it. It's mobile games just are not something you're used to spending money on, especially when they're like this and they're kind of lacking and repetitive and just not that good. And then also, I mean, like, there's on Switch, there's a lot of things in the eShop that are, you know, better ways to spend $10, especially there. So. Also, as far as Pokemon games go, even weird, like, spin-off things, both mobile and Switch have better options for you. You know, Pokemon TCG Pocket is great. You can play Pokemon Quest. You could do Pokemon Unite. There's a lot of, like, options for you to do where it's just, like, they're going to be more fun and rewarding, either for free or, you know, just other games that aren't Pokemon for $10. It's just hard to sell for your money or your time. It's just a hard thing to really recommend to much of anybody aside from a passing interest. And that's probably why I haven't seen too many people talking about this game, is because it's just not really that good. And I guess I don't I don't recommend it, is the ultimate thing I'm really trying to get at here. There's not a whole lot. I can go into probably more minutia of certain things, but it really doesn't matter because it's just not very good. So I kind of wasted my time on it and my money on it, so you don't have to. I guess we'll look at it that way, and hopefully that's a plus. Yeah. I mean, I think one thing that would be really cool that they could do is they could take a lot of these puzzles, like add another mode onto another mode idea, along with the timeless mode, is to add in a mode that's like a WarioWare type of like micro game thing, where each little like section of each puzzle set, would be like a thing that pops up. You gotta do that really quickly. That would actually be cool. I would enjoy something like that. And again, if they just add it on here, they could make updates and additions and make this better. But ultimately, that's why I'm not going to spend, you know, almost real game prices on this thing to get DLC packs. For one thing, on mobile, I can't really recommend doing that anyway. But even on Switch, yeah, I can't imagine those extra DLC packs are going to be worth it if I'm already like this bored with the main thing that's available for $10, and it goes up to like $35 or something crazy like that. I think it's kind of expensive for what is essentially a mobile game that's been, you know, upscaled to play on your Switch. So Pokemon Friends, I do not recommend, and neither does Pikachu. And you know what, if this Pikachu doesn't want to be my friend, that's fine, because I also have this Pikachu. If this Pikachu doesn't want to be my friend, this one's actually my friend. So who needs Pokemon, right? Fuck 'em.